Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. I'm not even going to try to do a crazy intro because Ari has been kicking us off with his Bruce Buffer intros. So I'll let him get all excited. We have our friend on the pod today.
Kevin Stamler's here. He's Kathy, longtime friend, and he joins us, for the entire episode, bringing us all his enlightenment, talking about the travel industry.
Yep.
A lot of questions around that.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
Travel's kind of fucked.
Yeah, we're just curious. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But we got to be able to make this better.
We got to get a little faster. We're waiting in line for Dunkin' Donuts.
Just to be clear, Kevin does not have the answers.
Kevin doesn't have the answers, but we all talk about it. And there's also a little PSA here, I would say, if you have children and you're thinking about traveling.
Yeah, sit your ass at home.
Okay, there it is. So you don't even have to listen to that part. And what did we start with? Oh, Woke Anand.
Yeah, Woke Anand.
Yeah. We're starting with Woke Anand has a bone to pick about Elon and Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Okay, luckily he wasn't here when we recorded the intro. Yeah. All right, you guys ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Rolling video, rolling audio. All three gentlemen on the pod, in the studio. We got guests. It's a packed house. Let's get into it.
Like that.
Not bad. Not bad. You can do better.
Could have been a little higher energy.
We'll take it, but it was a little subdued. I think it's because he's a little...
Okay.
He's a little flummoxed.
Overwhelmed?
Yeah.
He's calculated?
Yeah.
Yeah, because last episode we forgot to give you guys the disclaimer, but the computer kept shutting down.
Yeah.
And so there's probably like weird cuts and stuff because we just kept like losing audio. But now he's got a test computer and he's got a weird Dell laptop. I mean,
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress today. Okay.
Shout out to Michael Dell.
Shout out to Michael. Keeping us together. What's that laptop doing? What purpose does it serve?
That's my laptop.
That's your actual personal laptop?
That's my personal laptop.
Oh, you're a PC guy, huh?
That's real public defender laptop.
Yeah.
Fits the brand. Okay.
George Soros, huh?
Big Soros guy, huh?
Not very much.
Speaking of Soros, Elon had a Soros diss. He called him, no one saw this.
I didn't see
I saw it.
Is that
What did he compare him to?
David Faber interview on CNBC?
Yeah, but he tweeted it. He compared him to, I don't know.
He said he
Villain.
hates humanity.
An evil villain or something. He said he hates humanity. And
Yeah.
just our boy Elon just setting the record straight,
Yeah.
Letting everyone know the
I
truth.
mean, his car just became the number one selling car in America.
Must be nice.
It is.
And he's building tunnels and going to Mars and really saving free speech. So,
Saving free speech.
yeah, keeping it alive, I would
At
say.
least he's at the F1 Monaco. He's a car guy. I saw him getting into a car at one of the parties there.
I just would love to see the calendar.
Yeah.
What's the schedule? How's he sleep? He says he sleeps 6 hours. That's pretty decent.
There's no way he sleeps 6 hours.
He was
It's
tweeting about
impossible.
some movie the other day.
Decent.
He's like, oh, that's a great movie.
Princess and the Bride.
No. That was the interview. He actually tweeted about a movie the other day.
Like a new movie?
No, it was like an old movie. He's like, it's a great movie. I'm watching it right now. I forgot what it was. It's so funny.
Yeah. I don't get it. But Anand, I heard you have a bone to pick.
It's not a bone to pick. We teased it on the last episode when you and I spoke on Wednesday that DeSantis was announcing his presidential run on Twitter Spaces, and we were like, hey, we have no idea. We sounded predated.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it happened.
Went great.
You're a DeSantis guy?
He had
No. I saw your face.
To be fair,
I saw you load up.
he had a record day of fundraising the next day.
He did.
Is
So,
that right?
Yes.
all right, let's
Ever.
can we-
24 hours ever.
But what's funny is like community notes, Elon tweeted that and the community notes said like they kind of corrected it. So I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But we don't know. But
Because
whatever.
Community Notes
like-
corrected Elon's tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means it's not the
Well,
record.
DeSantis posted
it
it.
said like, well, actually,
Because it was $8.4 million that they claim they raised the next day.
they said that he raised part of it at a different thing. And they also said
Because
that,
he did a town hall
Maybe
right
that
after.
whole day, not just
and they said that a couple other people have
given master.
So I have a lot of thoughts.
free speech, right?
A lot of thoughts.
Facts win. Even the CEO gets fact checked.
Yeah, I
An
like
amazing product.
It is. It's
God,
the
you
best
guys are
product. I bet you if you
insufferable.
looked at Anand's phone, the number one thing he's on all day is Twitter. So it
Not
doesn't
even a
matter. He
question.
won.
Not
He
even
won.
a-
It was before Elon, though. You
I know,
guys
but-
know this.
I know, but
you
you gotta
guys
leave.
all hated Twitter. I was the only one on Twitter.
That's true.
I know, but it
but
don't-
now you got to leave
Yeah.
Why'd I have to leave?
because you got to make your point. You got to
What's
go
my
to
point?
Parlor. Your point is that you don't like Elon and you don't
No, I respect
you don't
everything
support
Elon does as a
free
innovator.
speech advocate.
No, not as a free speech advocate,
Savior
because I
to
think
the
it's actually
Constitution.
like the biggest falsehood of all time.
First
So-
Amendment warrior, I call him.
Yeah.
So, did you guys
Ultimate warrior.
watch?
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to the Twitter Spaces?
I
No, I
didn't.
don't care about politics. It
I don't
doesn't
either.
matter.
I didn't listen either. I heard it crashed. What? I heard it crash. That's all I did. I'm not a DeSantis guy. I know you think I am. I'm not. Did you
He's
listen?
Trump. I know that. He's
No.
not going DeSantis.
I'm definitely
He's
not Trump. The problem
DeSantis
is
isn't
Anand's
extreme
a woke liberal elite. He has no
Yeah.
idea what the rest of America's
But
like.
guess
That's
who-
the problem.
The only
rest
one.
of
You listened to
America-
it, didn't you? Did you listen to it?
I listened to the whole thing.
That's the problem. You can't use the stuff. You're adding to the numbers.
I'm a journalist.
Fair.
I have
What'd
to-
you take from it?
My take was that I have no issue with DeSantis using the platform to announce his presidency.
Okay.
Don't care. Like anyone can use any platform. He could go on Instagram Live. He could go on Facebook. He can
Yep.
go on TikTok. He can do whatever he wants. My bone to pick was that the owner of the company was on there facilitating the most softball questions that you could possibly imagine.
That's all presidential launches,
Yeah.
though. Even Trump's is
But what if he
softball.
does it for a Democrat?
No, but if you listen to All In, Jason Calacanis said that Elon was going to basically, it was presented to them that Elon's going to, let's get him on here, let's ask the tough questions, let's do that. And
I heard that part. I agree.
it was just a joke.
I think it'll happen. I think DeSantis will have his moment.
No, of course.
Because
He's gonna
here's
have
the
to go
thing
to
is, like-
he's gonna have to go to a
because
debate
Bu-
and get
Bu-
talked
Bu-
about abortion.
Yeah,
Like
'cause
what's your
Yeah.
stance on abortion?
Biden doesn't have to do debates. From what I've heard, he's not doing any debates.
He shouldn't. That's my point on the last episode. I told
Why
Drama.
shouldn't he though?
No, my point is he's going to have to because the Republicans are going to just destroy
Oh,
themselves.
sure. But I just mean,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, then
this guy
DeSantis
should have
should not allow Elon to take any questions.
No, but my point is the
Same
owner
thing.
of this fake free speech platform, fake.
Yeah.
I know, but you're
Fake
on it.
free
You love
speech.
it. Your number one platform.
But can I-
Is that your number one platform?
That's my number one app for sure.
Yeah. So,
But
he
fake
won.
free
But what about,
speech.
wasn't there a thing where like they caught Biden faking which journalists were going to ask him questions at a press conference, and he had their name and photo?
Kevin's woke. What do you say?
I'm not woke. No, I mean, I think this is all like a silly horse race. You know, like to me,
It's all a show.
it's all a narrative, right? Like this is a really good example because if you listen to like the right side of the review, it's like, oh, it was a 20-minute glitch. Presidentials, you know, they all launches start 20 minutes late. This was nothing. Everyone
Yeah.
saw it. It was perfect. If you listen to the left, it was like, what a disaster.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. And to me, it's like, you know, okay, like you're a Laker fan, unless you're sitting courtside for the Warriors. You
cheering.
are like sort of a Laker fan. You're a winning
He's-
fan.
he's just-
I'm a
Drama
winner.
plays golf. To me, it's like, okay, so I'm a Laker fan. There's nothing you could do to convince me to not be a fan of the Lakers, period.
Yep.
And I feel like that's what politics is. Like someone on the right,
Yeah.
you're just looking for your narrative. You're looking for your propaganda that makes you feel good. That's like what, like I'll
That's
read
fair.
Lakers blogs about how the Lakers are going to sign, you know, Giannis. And I'm like, ooh, give me the propaganda.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I want to
Yeah.
hear it. And whether you're left or whether you're right, it's all the same. And this DeSantis fiasco was a perfect example of that.
So it's all a waste of time.
To me, it's a horse race. It's good
Yeah,
content.
I agree. But
It's-
this is all I'll say is if they do the same thing for a Democrat, I'm all good. If not, I will say
Well,
I think it's a little
Joe Biden will never go on Twitter Spaces.
agreed. I don't know what
No,
you're
but
gonna
if
do. Marianne
if
Williams,
the,
yeah.
let her talk about fucking healing yourself or whatever.
no, but if you were to be like, give me this, if I guarantee you, if Biden was, because let's be clear, all the craziness of the audience was because Elon showed up.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with DeSantis, had nothing to do with David Sachs. It's Elon with his 140 million followers. He's a superstar. He's
Yeah.
one of the most famous people on the planet.
Yeah.
So he brought the audience. He crashed the app. He crashed
Yeah,
everything.
it's good for business.
So
It's all about money.
So my point is, if he were to be like, hey, I'm going to bring the audience, because I'm Elon.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden gets to, and I tweeted this. I was like,
Yeah, but Joe Biden won't come.
No,
he
but
can't
if he-
risk being.
no,
Yeah,
but
what
if
do you
he
do
was
if Joe
able
Biden
to,
says
if he-
no?
no, but if he was able to do the same interview with John Favreau and the Pod Save America guys, and no one asked tough questions, similarly
They
to
would do
what,
it. Elon would love that. He would do it in 1 second. It's so
Yeah.
good for business.
I
He
don't
would
know.
love-
He would love to just. He'd probably pipe in.
No,
then.
no,
But it
no,
wouldn't-
he
but it
would.
wouldn't
He would
get the
not. He would
same-
not jeopardize his business.
And it wouldn't get the
I don't
same
know.
audience because Elon is the audience. So it's a catch-22 because to Dee's point, Elon would invite Joe Biden. Joe Biden would never do it. And if Joe Biden does it with anyone else but Elon, it's
That's a
a
joke.
quarter of the number. And then DeSantis or whoever is that did it with Elon is just shitting on
Yeah.
him saying,
Yeah.
you know,
This is where I think the Republicans
no.
in the last 7 years have just used media better.
Yeah.
oh, so much better.
Like the Democrats are like, no, we're not. You know, Biden doesn't really do press conferences. He doesn't. Everything's softball at the press conferences.
They don't even answer any
whenever he
questions.
does them. Yeah,
They
I
don't
mean, he
even
does like
answer
quick
any-
little things.
Hey, let's get out of here.
Let me tell you about America. And the Republicans play the game, and so you're gonna have Elon. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
They
fucked,
play.
but-
You claimed they played the game, but they got. It was supposed to be this red tsunami in the midterms and didn't happen.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's
So
not,
the voters don't give a shit about what the Republican
Doesn't
game's
matter.
being played.
I mean, but
Well, I think in 2024 it could be a little scary.
you
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
You don't know
I
until
don't
the
know.
election
No.
happens.
No, of course we don't
don't
know, but it hasn't worked.
This is what I think has worked is the tide.
I mean, they got D.
They got D.
Yeah.
No, but they don't have me either. The thing is I'm not voting. If Joe Biden is president,
Yeah.
I will not vote for him.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I will
yeah.
if he's the candidate, I will not vote for him. If it's against Trump, I just won't vote. I've been voting since I was 18 years old. I'm happy not to vote. It's at this point, these guys are clowns. They both are clowns.
I agree.
They're bad candidates.
what's-
They're not capable of running.
What's
I'm sorry.
funny about that to me is I think that Trump would lose to anyone in the Democratic Party except for Biden,
Yeah.
and Biden would lose to any
Any-
Republican except
Yeah.
for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if DeSantis
It's
and
kind of
Biden
amazing.
was
Yeah.
actually going to be the race, DeSantis would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Like I'm so confident that would
Crazy.
happen.
The
Yeah.
thing that I
Problem
see
is-
changing is I just want to say is the like undercurrent of like Republican thoughts are
Are
a
more
lot
mainstream
more
now.
accepted
Yes.
and a lot more mainstream. Not like the abortion thing. I don't really hear that much, but the
basic
anti-woke, the no canceling,
Crime. Yeah.
the like look what's happening with Bud Light. Now it's
Target.
happening with Target and these other people. Those are all very anti-woke sentiments. And that I think because the Republicans are using media better, I think that's one of the effects. Like it is working.
And
They're
by the way,
I
building
would
a-
say yes if
Cosign.
it weren't for the midterms.
I know, but even since
No,
the
that's-
midterms,
yeah.
it's become like, you think about it, socially acceptable now
Yeah.
to be right. It
The
was not that 2 years ago.
Yeah, and
Absolutely not.
the
If you
Democrats-
wore a red fucking hat, you
Yeah.
were a social pariah.
I mean,
Yeah.
2022. We're talking the midterms.
I know,
are
but that was
2022.
that was a
But,
year ago.
to
A year
me,
ago.
the
It changed.
midterms
I think a lot
are
has changed.
they're a red herring because it was like all about election denialism and abortion.
Yes.
And like once those things kind of fade into the ether, although if Trump's the candidate, maybe election denialism doesn't fade into the ether and he sinks
Yeah.
himself. But like if those two things kind of went away, I think the red wave would have happened.
I just see how even put aside everyone else, you just take young people. Young people are very forthright about saying that they're conservative publicly. To me, was a big. We know older people. We know how they vote. They're going to vote 40% blindly is going to vote for Republican no matter what.
Mhm.
You have 45, 50% will blindly vote Democrat, and it's basically 5% we're trying to swing either way. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think
That's the tribalism that I was talking about. It's like you're just rooting for your favorite team.
yeah.
That's it.
You're basically
You don't
trying
change
to
any
convince,
minds.
There's actually no independence. There's
Yeah.
literally like you're just trying to convince a few more people to vote that day, and then people like me who may just say "fuck it," I don't want to vote anymore because I think the whole system's fucked up.
Yeah.
May screw the whole election up one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what's going to swing it either way, and likelihood none of us have any say. It'll just be
I
like
think drama actually put it the best in the last episode. It's become The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And you just like
Yeah.
kind of root for your favorite character
Root
and
for
then
your
you forget
guy.
about it.
yeah.
It also just doesn't fucking really matter. Like I hate to say it, but like it doesn't like Like, what really changed? Like, I know maybe a few minor tax rates and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I fully understand like the abortion issues in Texas, and that's very serious. But like, how did it really affect my life other than just worrying about what Trump did or freaking out about what is, like, I don't know, man. It just feels like so much of our energy.
Both Trump and Biden, in my mind, were terrible.
Yeah, and like I guess
I don't know if they would have anyone else would have impacted it differently.
And I want to make my point well is like, I guess what I'm saying is like the amount of stress or thought that we put into politics now versus how it actually changes our lives is like just it's not worth it to me.
It's
Drama,
not.
can I build on your point?
Please,
I see it the same way in the sense that I think about proximity, right? Like think about the top 5 issues, right? Whether it's the war in Ukraine, the tax code, you name it, right? COVID relief or whatever. None of us have any goddamn clue actually how those decisions are being made or what the consequences are. Yeah. Like you could talk to me about, Reaganomics and trickle down economics. You could talk to me about like, in Norway and Sweden and Scandinavia, like tax rates are 70%. And I have no idea because I have no proximity to actually that information. Yeah. I have no idea how that will result. Yeah. To your point, it probably results that everything's the same in the end, right? Like, and it's sort of 50-50. It reminds me of like, how there's like, for like meat eaters, there's like 200 pages of scientific research on like
eat like a caveman,
only like a caveman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's 200 pages of academic research on the plant-based diet.
Yep.
And those things are literally opposite of each other.
Yep.
And no one has any idea which one's
and
right.
By the way, there's plenty of healthy people who eat like a caveman.
Sure.
There's plenty of healthy people who eat like
exactly.
Plus, I think that the problems, if you want to talk about the problems of America, are more systemic. And I actually think, like, let's just say the problem of the way that big business and money influences politics. Mm-hmm. That's Democrats and Republicans. Yeah. It's not, and to me, that's the problem. Or like the military-industrial complex. That's Democrats and Republicans.
And pharmaceutical companies, yeah.
Yeah, like there's not, a president isn't going to solve that.
No. They're a puppet.
Yeah, and I don't know. But I'm not saying presidents are pointless. I'm not telling people not to go vote. But I am saying that like, with all these shenanigans that we're about to see in the next year and a half, like just fucking realize how much it actually matters.
And it's hard to call balls and strikes, with what you see.
I mean, to your point, I don't think our life was different under Trump versus different under Biden.
It wasn't different under Obama. The only thing that was different was the amount of people complaining about and like just the general tension. That's why I think Trump is so bad, is the tension in the air is miserable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Without that,
who cares?
Yeah. That's the only visible.
That's the reason I think the abortion issue is so like personal.
If Republicans would just give that up, they'd win forever.
Because every woman can feel what it would be like to be pregnant and have a law that says you can't do what you want with your body.
It's crazy. They're giving up all that power on that one thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. And Trump keeps doubling down on it.
I will say the biggest piece of legislation that's so underrated is Obamacare. And it's been roasted by Republicans and a lot of business people. But I can tell you firsthand, our son Maverick would be uninsurable if it weren't for Obamacare.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you seen that
and
statistic?
we'd be bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I think that to you then, and that you have a case where it did affect you more than, I'm just saying for me personally, the amount of thought that I put into it, like, oh, what happened this weekend? Did Twitter crash? Did blah, 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 did whatever. It's like,
cares
for what result?
Yeah.
By the way, most people don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm telling you, like they just go about their day. Think about how many people watch cable news? Nobody. How many people went on the Twitter DeSantis thing? A few million people, whatever, million people. Yeah. It's irrelevant. How many people watched a football game? 30 million people. Most people do not care.
Yeah, they're on TikTok solving murder mysteries.
Yeah, there's like, I guarantee you, if you throw 6 TikTok people next to any presidential candidate, besides Trump and Biden, any TikTok person would win over. Like, you throw Nikki Haley and Gavin Newsom, nobody knows who those 2 people are.
Versus Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio. I take Charlie and Dixie all day.
There's no chance anybody knows any other candidate. It's a joke. Like, politics is It's the big, like people make fun, like adults make fun of TikTok and say that's a joke.
Yeah.
I'm an adult and I make fun of politics, and I think that's a clown show.
Yeah.
The incentive structure for politics is so broken. Like, what smart, successful person would choose to be a politician and have half the country hate them?
Yeah.
You
Well,
wouldn't
they do
run.
it.
I
There's
wouldn't
only
run.
one
You
reason
wouldn't
why
run.
they do it, right? And the only reason they might start with good intentions, but the only reason they stay is because of all the money that they're getting from lobbyists or from being promised.
They're locked. You're so
speaking
locked.
tours or
You that one time, like maybe at some point Joe Biden had good intentions, and then like in 1983 he took a
83,
fucking 73,
53.
53.
Yeah.
He took money from one person, and
Yes.
that's it.
It's
It's a
over.
wrap.
Yes.
You're locked
The
in.
real issue is the most talented young people,
Yes.
call it young 20s, late 20s, early 30s, aren't going to politics.
None of them.
None of them.
no.
None
They're
of
trying to
them.
find the next
Why would you?
AI
If
startup.
you knew someone,
No,
you'd be
they're
like, "Are
playing
you
basketball.
crazy?"
I just watched Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler should run for president.
Yeah, you should.
He's
Yeah.
a boss.
Because here's the thing: if you're smart and you really want to have influence, you know that you don't get influence from politics. You get influence from being successful,
Who
getting
has
a lot
more
of money.
influence than Elon Musk? 0 people on Earth.
Well, and exactly, and anyone with a lot of money who's donating to campaigns, those are the
control.
people with the influence.
Yeah.
Why would you want to go be the puppet? Why don't you go try to be the puppet
You're
master?
better off being Koch brothers or George Soros than Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
And when you look at the list of people who are insider trading in Congress, it's Democrats and Republicans. You know what I'm saying?
they're both crooks.
That's not partisan.
No, both parties are crooks. That's why, like, I've lost respect for the whole institution of government. It's a joke.
Yeah.
They-
I-
they-
Drama though, he's right that the right is so much better at messaging.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's not even
But look,
close.
You said
I
media,
think the
yeah.
messaging, I mean, I would say I was kind of indifferent on the messaging tactic till recently. Like Bud Light just being decimated to the ground. Everyone's like, people still come up to me like, oh, people are going to forget about it. I was like, I don't know.
There's
I don't
this.
know.
There's
I don't
this.
know. That
Fucking
shit might be
good.
over.
Yeah.
you guys may have talked about this before, but there's this super famous statistic that I think perfectly illustrates that point. If they were polling Obamacare in red states,
Mhm.
and they basically said like Obamacare has like a negative 70% approval rating, but if they pulled the Affordable Care Act, it had a positive 70%
Yeah.
approval
Yeah.
rating,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
the same thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just the messaging, right?
Yeah, and I think what's happening now is that, you know, all of this, like, whether it be woke or alt-right shit, it never really had an impact on businesses.
Mhm.
I mean, even during the Trump era, when Trump would, like, what was the beans? I forgot what brand that was, where the guy supported Trump and Democrats
Goya.
were trying to, what?
Goya.
Beans. And they were trying to, Democrats
yeah.
were trying to cancel it,
Yep.
or the My Pillow guy or whatever.
Yep.
Nothing happened.
No.
None of those brands were impacted. All those brands survived.
Yeah. But
And
all the
Kid
like,
Rock puts a machine gun to some Bud Light cans.
I know, but like
Yeah.
the fact that,
no,
like,
no, I'm trying to think through. Like, did any get impacted?
no, I would say in that Trump era, no conservative brand got derailed to the. I think they may have had a blip
Mhm.
for 2-3 weeks, but like we're, you know, if we're talking liberals
Yeah.
are not good at aligning, because you know what the problem with the liberals are within the liberal faction. We have so much disagreement.
There's too much of a spectrum.
Yeah, it's too
Way
much.
too
It's
much.
like
We don't
they're- it's
agree.
like they're
I
all
mean, if you
like-
ask 10 liberals about
Yeah.
certain issues,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what they are.
No.
I guarantee you no
To-
one agrees.
From
Yeah.
one side
Yeah.
of the spectrum of liberal to the other, it's unrecognizable to the counterparty. Whereas on the right, it's like, you know, like someone who's sort of middle of the right would be like, yeah, the January 6th, like there's good people on it, you know, like, you know,
Yeah.
they're recognizable.
And,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah,
when it
it's not
comes to
like
like,
that.
at the end of the day, everything, unfortunately, in life is about money. What's happened in the last 60 days, first it was Bud Light, and now they're trying to take down basically
Yeah.
a brand a week.
Yeah, they went after North Face.
I don't think North
Did
Face
they?
is going to get impacted
Because
at
their
all.
customer is
Ford.
different.
Yeah, their customer's different.
Yeah.
Lululemon, I think, is untouchable.
Ford
Like,
might be a little risky though.
So is that,
Ford?
I know you do business with Target. Is that real?
What?
Like their business is actually declining?
I don't
believe it.
comment.
I don't
know.
believe it.
Don't put me in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I know their stock's down, but I don't know if their business is actually.
I don't know.
I think maybe like their clothing section for the week could be down.
The problem is like Bud Light's really easily replaceable. Target's tough.
Yeah, because you have to still shop at Target. Bud Light's
And
25
Target's like
cents a can, 35% a can.
And you literally just
I mean-
reach 3 inches to the
I mean-
right
I
and
I
have
mean,
Miller
imagine
Lite.
like Target. I think it's like 35% is groceries.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go to
Not gonna
groceries
switch up
because
your- I've seen TikToks about people pushing their little like 2-year-olds in a cart and their little feet are dangling, whatever. And they're like, she's wondering why we don't have fucking lollipops and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's because they're at Walmart instead of Target. And like the kid is like, what the fuck is this place? Like people, it's like their family like weekly trip.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not worried about that. I do think the interesting dilemma will be really around outside of Bud Light. Does any of these things actually get momentum?
I think it's tough.
Bud
You
Light
can't
one is
do
just
too
Bud
many
Light.
at the same time. You got to like marshal your resources at 1 or 2.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you can't go
I mean,
for
Bud
10.
Light's
Bud Light
now
was
like
like
10
officially-
cents a can, 3
Yeah.
cents a can.
It's become a joke.
Yeah.
Well, Javier, who works for me, was telling me at the grocery store, he saw it live. Like 2 guys, one guy picks it up, another guy makes a comment about him picking him up.
This
Not
at
to
the
say
market?
comment, the grocery store. And he was like, yo, this Bud Light shit is real.
Can you imagine like
This is in
college
LA.
bars?
He
That's
lives-
an LA grocery store. Imagine like Ohio State University
Yeah.
bar. You're like, can I have a Bud Light, please? Yeah, right.
People are like throwing drinks at you. You know? That's
Oh my
crazy.
God. Like I think their brand has become synonymous with
Yeah.
that.
How
whatever
much,
the joke
how much
is.
has the stock tanked? Do we know?
Anheuser-Busch?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
It's the
a lot.
sales number that's the impressive number. That's
Yeah.
like the
the stocks.
26%
It's billions.
down.
It's billions. It's
The stock is
Wow.
whatever they paid Dylan Mulvaney does not equal to the amount of market cap they've lost.
Yeah.
I think it's basically Bud Light is just not a sellable brand.
It's like a
anymore.
pariah.
It's over.
I think they
Really?
should take it
Wow.
off the shelf, wait a while, come up with some
You can't
brilliant
take-
campaign.
It's probably like a $10 billion
This is
business.
Bud
know.
Light. This
I
is
know.
like the #1 Super Bowl commercial brand.
I know,
like,
but what if
yeah.
like how do you stop the leak?
I don't know.
If not,
you-
it just becomes a fucking
Here's the
joke. And
problem.
here's the one last thing is that now it's become good content
Yeah.
to make fun of Bud Light.
Yeah.
So now even if you don't care about Bud Light or this issue,
You dunk on it.
you're making you're dunking on
We're
it
doing
because
it right
people
now.
like that
Yeah.
content.
'Cause yeah, it's
oh, we're making it worse
Yeah.
because it's a hot topic to talk about. So how do you stop the bleeding?
I think the only way you do stop the bleeding is one reference is completely eliminate yourself from public conversation. The thing is that they're so high profile of a brand. Like I saw they did like a Harley Davidson can. They're going hard. Like I if I'm them, I go to any conservative.
Elon.
Look, the beauty is that America can be bought. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
Anheuser-Busch. I just start cutting checks.
Somebody had this idea. I just want to say it. I forget it was a podcaster or something, and I forget. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you credit. Of like they just need to run a commercial with that scene from The Hangover where Bradley Cooper's in the desert.
I heard this.
And
Was
he
that
calls
on
and he
Joe
just,
Rogan?
Somebody,
I
and he
think
just
I heard
goes,
this. Yeah.
"We fucked up."
You know when
that
like
scene?
the scene from Hangover where Bradley Cooper's like
That's a
in the
good
middle of the desert.
If that
and-
was just their commercial and
Yeah.
that was on every fucking 5 minutes, I feel like you could convince people with humor.
You got to pay Bradley Cooper a lot of money for that.
It's worth it.
That's it.
It's worth it. How much are you losing?
Yeah.
You got to plug the hole.
Yeah. I think you could buy your way out of the problem. There's no doubt. I just think the people they have to align with, you just gotta get ready for it. Like
You're saying
Man,
you got to go
one
hard.
marketing manager.
You got to go Kid Rock. Is that what you're saying?
One
No, I don't think
one,
you have to
one girl from your alma mater caused this whole
Harvard?
thing.
I'm USC, bro.
She was Harvard?
I'm USC.
Yeah, you're back now.
Caleb Williams,
King James.
Heisman,
Bronny.
Yeah,
Bronny.
monster.
Yeah.
Don't forget where
Prince
I came
James.
from.
Obama.
Obama's
Sasha,
kids out there.
Malia?
Sasha.
Sasha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at D. He just jumps.
Mhm.
He
But
just
it's-
ditched
D's,
Harvard.
D,
You know what?
D's a
I'm-
front runner
he's out,
all
he's
the
out.
way.
Yeah.
He's
You know what?
always been.
I'm untouchable.
Hey, who are
I'm
we
gonna keep
rooting
it
for now
moving.
in the finals, by the way?
A big Miami guy.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
They're gonna
You've
lose.
always
though.
been a Miami guy, huh?
After they lose, you'll have been a Denver fan.
I have a great video of me when LeBron was on Miami. I literally watched all the games by myself because I couldn't. I really wanted LeBron to win his first title, and I took a selfie video. This is when did they win? Like 15 years ago.
2011.
Yeah, the funniest video of me. They were all doing. I forgot what was the guy's name. He ended up being like a kind of criminal, white guy on the team.
Oh, Birdman.
Birdman. Yeah.
Birdman.
No, but he was
Chris-
exonerated.
He was exonerated.
Yeah,
okay.
But I was doing
kind of criminal.
I was doing a bird flap video and I sent
Yeah,
it
they
to
tried
everyone.
to claim he was like a child molester.
Yeah, yeah.
And he
Oh
was
my
completely
God.
exonerated.
Chris Anderson, is that
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
all right.
we're Miami.
Yeah, we're in Miami. So you heard Kevin. He's on the pod today. Kevin is an avid listener of the podcast. I wanted to come on. One, he obviously listens, so he'll be a great discussion.
Also,
But-
we've known him for like 20 years. You
20
guys
years.
even longer.
Yeah, easily 20 years. Kevin started a business in the travel space. How long has it been?
5 years for real, let's say.
5 years for real.
Yeah, 2018, 2019.
Okay, and I'm fascinated because I travel a lot, and I overheard over the weekend that LAX had like record traffic,
Yeah.
and I landed. Well, I took off from JFK Thursday. My flight was 5 a.m.
hmm
5 a.m. flight, no joke.
So that's a 3 a.m. wake up?
I take that flight every other week. So 3:45 a.m.
Okay.
wake up. I leave.
For a 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Out of
This is- this
JFK?
is- this is-
Okay. Because
What do you do? Get there
I
by
take it. I
4:15?
take it quite enough where I know, like,
Like that's right. You make it right in time.
I literally walk up when they're boarding.
Wow.
And 3:45. I leave the hotel at 4. I get there at maybe 4:32. The fucking place was so crowded.
Sure, it wasn't a 6 a.m. flight.
No. And but
But that's not working out.
why?
To get there in time.
No,
you
you
mean?
can do it.
Yeah, of
I'm with
course.
D. Yeah.
They tell you just have to be on the plane by 4:45.
He's not checking bags.
I'm
He's
not
not
checking
doing
bags,
anything.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I finally get to the airport 4:30 something. The ladies, I see the TSA pre-check line. It's like 100 people, and she's like, "It's 10 minutes."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where's Clear?" And she's like, "Clear's not working today." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. And
What do you
also
mean
sometimes
Clear's not working today?
sometimes the
Even an
clear
option.
line is
What?
longer than the TSA pre-check line sometimes because with clear you need a person to walk
So
you.
then I said, "Hey, I'm priority." She's like,
Mhm.
"Don't go on the priority line. The pre-checks me faster." I was like, "My flight's boarding in 10 fucking minutes," and
Mhm.
she's like, "Trust me, take the
Mhm.
TSA pre-check." Fine. She was right. It was 11 minutes.
Yeah.
I walk right out. They don't board anyone on a time. I make it to my flight, whatever. 4:50. They're not even started boarding yet. I cannot believe how crowded every airport in the goddamn country.
Yeah.
The traffic in LAX. The other day, Javier was dropping me off after the podcast. Last Sunday, when I went to LAX, he dropped me off. It was so bad. He dropped me off at In-N-Out, and I walked. I was like,
kidding.
I'm never going to make this flight. It was like my flight was at like
Really?
11:55. At like 11 o'clock, we're still like so far away.
And you made it with that strategy?
Because I looked it up on the thing. It said 17-minute walk.
I'm saying in and out. That's far.
Yeah, that's like a mile and a half,
Are
right?
you sure? You sure want to get out? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. We're not moving.
Yeah.
We're just stuck.
Jesus.
So I
Yeah.
just got out, walked, and I got on my flight.
The traveling's hot.
Travel's super hot
Super
and will
hot.
remain hot because there hasn't been any innovation in the airline industry in the last 50 years. For example, whatever that computer that the gate agent's typing into, that code is from like the 60s and it remains so.
Yeah.
So
What's
You
your
know-
business, Kevin? Tell us.
my business, we do digital retailing for airlines. The main business is we auction seat upgrades in mostly long haul travel. So we have 4 airlines that are live right now. The business is called SeatBoost. So it's about, you download an app and you feels like you're playing a game and you're, bidding for an upgrade in real time. So that's our business. But to go back to travel as an industry, there's like not new planes, right? There's barely any new sort of procedures or staff. It takes you the same amount of time to go from LAX to New York than it did in like 1970.
Yeah.
That's
So in
pretty
50
wild.
years, there's been no innovation, right?
Zero.
Other than Wi-Fi on the plane, which mostly works, right? So
Never works.
it's really hard to innovate in the travel industry.
Why is
I
that?
can't believe we don't have faster fucking planes.
Is it because of
Yeah.
fuel? It's just the fuel costs are too
No,
high?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I think one reason is because,
no one cares.
airlines have all the leverage, right? Like if you want to get to New York, you have to fly. And there's like 4 airlines you can choose from. And I just think it's hard to innovate. These are billion-dollar businesses to get off the ground. It's kind of like,
Pharmaceutical?
pharma, right? Like, why don't they have a drug that solves X, right? It's hard. It's like a really hard business to innovate in. And, not to say anything about me, but like I started from outside the travel industry. You guys know me. You guys talk a lot about club promoters. I spent some time as a club promoter, as you guys know. Okay? There's been some talk of club promoters, some good, some bad. We'll leave that in the past. So, I did not know a single person at an airline when I had this idea. I had this idea sitting in an airport. And, basically the story is like, that kiosk that you put your credit card in and sprint out your boarding pass. So I did that and my credit card got stuck in one of those machines and I couldn't get it out. And I had to get a technician to open the machine to get my credit card out, which took like 30 minutes. And all those kiosks are in a row. And they were like, people were saying no thanks to an offer for an upgrade as fast as you would accept like a new cookie policy on ESPN.com, right?
Yeah.
Like just no thanks, move on.
Yeah.
And I thought like I'm sitting there and I'm like, people aren't even paying attention to this offer. This is like a bad time and environment to merchandise with someone, right? Because everyone's in a hurry to get through security. So finally I get my card back. I race through security. I'm the last guy on the plane. There's 8 business class seats on the plane. 1 is sat and 7 are empty. And I was like, well, this is stupid. They have the staff, they have the drinks, they have the food, they have everything
what era
they need.
is this? Because every business class is
Yeah. 7 years ago, different.
Yeah,
7 years ago,
different.
different. Yeah. Or 6 years ago, whatever. So I just was like, we should be able to bid on this and it should go to the highest bidder and it would prevent airlines from having a sunk cost and it would, incentivize people to be able to control their own destiny, right? Instead of some like, board that stack ranks you in terms of your loyalty, right? It's like you can sort of control your own destiny. And that's how it started. And now we're off to the races.
So the one thing I'd kind of curious your take on, because there's been zero innovation in air travel, right? Like LA to New York's the same time. And that's commercial. Private's the same thing. So billionaires haven't figured out either.
I feel like Elon's shaved off an hour.
Well, Elon's trying to do it underground.
Yeah.
Right? So he's trying.
I know, but it's just interesting that even the richest people in the world can't get from LA to New York quicker than a Delta flight.
Yeah.
I feel like they're cheap.
I just don't understand why. Like it's way before that in the chain. It's just innovation in air travel, and I don't.
This is aerospace. Like you need to be an aerospace engineer to
look at what
innovate.
Elon's doing with rockets.
Right.
Like
he's the one guy in like the world, who's doing that. I'm sure if Elon applied whatever he was doing with SpaceX to air travel, it would be faster. But he hasn't done it yet.
In 1 hour.
He's like the one guy, right? So
because from what I've read, that a lot of people think the future of like air travel is through something like a space where you literally rocket up to the top and come down.
And there's tons of like Joby Aviation. These are like electric vehicles that are in flight and they sort of act like helicopters, but they're electric. The unit economics, as I understand them, and I'm not an expert, are very, very tough. Like the private jet business, how many companies have tried to innovate in this idea of private jets, right? NetJets, NetSuite, JetSuite X, there's so many, Aero, right? And none of them have cracked the nut, right? It's too expensive for most people. And
it comes down to oil.
That's certainly a part of it. Right? Yeah. But why? But
that's why they canceled the Concorde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was too expensive.
Didn't work. Right.
Back then it definitely did not.
Yeah.
There might be an audience today that could afford that there's enough wealthy people on earth that are willing to pay for a faster time.
Here's what I'll say though. I just want to be clear. I was a club promoter, so I'm not an aerospace engineer, and I can't answer your questions about innovation. I can answer your questions about digital retailing in the airline space. No, like
how to market to people.
Yeah. I mean, our thesis at SeatBoost is about purchasing behavior, which is something you guys are experts on as well, right? We think like, why is everything in the airport so expensive, right? The reason is because your behavior changes once you're traveling, right? If an airline was to offer you to reserve a water at the airport when you're booking, and let's say they offered, spend $2 and reserve a water at the airport. You would never ever do it.
Yeah.
But every time you go to the airport, you buy a water for $8, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Your
trapped,
behavior totally changes. And so, airlines are really bad at capitalizing on that. Most people are just engaging with Hudson News or Starbucks or Chili's, right? So
I see. I
we
mean,
provide a bridge.
So I fly at JFK. I mean, in the morning, the amount of people in line for Shake Shack
or coffee.
30 people.
Yeah.
Number.
Yeah.
Number of people.
It's unbelievable.
It's
right?
unbelievable.
And airlines, you're there to fly on your Delta, I'm assuming, or whatever.
Yeah.
You're there to fly on Delta, and Delta's
I
making
can't
nothing off
believe
that
how
transaction.
many people are willing to wait in that Starbucks line.
Me too. It's
And
unbelievable.
especially-
Do you
what's
really
funny
care
is
about a
this-
coffee that bad?
Can
Yeah.
I tell you something?
a
I'm
habit thing.
gonna give you a hack.
It's like a
all the
cigarette.
Cathys.
It is a cigarette.
Yeah.
I literally land no matter what city I'm in. I pull up my Starbucks app.
Mhm.
I look to see if they will take mobile ordering at the terminal. Literally while I'm on the plane, I'll order my coffee.
Yeah, smart.
I pull up like fucking superhero. I see these schmucks standing in line.
Yeah.
I'm like, you
It's
pigs.
like 100
You
people.
peasants.
You fucking
No,
peasants.
Give me my
It's
latte.
actually 100 people.
I think people
Yeah.
want to. You
Yeah.
wait till you see the Dunkin' Donuts line at JFK at 6 a.m.
But you're doing this on landing?
Yeah.
That's kind of a bold move, because I feel like once you land, I don't even stop to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm
So-
getting out of there.
so-
I
I mean,
mean, when I land is when
because-
I wanted coffee the most.
Yeah,
I want
so-
to be all juiced up in that little
Yeah,
seat.
so
He's off a red eye
I
going
take
straight
red
to
eye.
meeting.
Yeah.
I go to the lounge to take a shower
Mhm.
At the airport?
at the airport because you never
I
get
get
your
it.
check in.
Yeah.
So I know I'm checking in at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I go get my shower done. I have my coffee waiting. And then I refuse to take a car ever again from JFK to the city because it's a joke.
You take what?
I take the train. I take the air train.
Why, it's faster?
Way faster.
It's like night and day faster.
It's
Really?
literally
It's maybe
like,
half the time.
That's how you get there as well?
Yeah.
That's why you can wake up at fucking...
Yeah, because I know how long it's going to take me. Boom.
Okay.
And I stayed
Okay.
Midtown, so the train's right there.
I've missed multiple flights in the last few years.
Have
Yeah,
you
'cause
seen
the
to
traffic.
JFK, yeah.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah, it's brutal.
New York,
that business
New
is
York's
interesting.
like Calcutta, bro. It's
Yeah.
like a fucking joke.
The helicopter to JFK.
Yeah.
I think it's Blade.
Blade, yeah.
Blade, yeah.
That's a great service.
Yeah.
I've taken it. It's really nice.
I just want to give everyone a little fact. It appears that as you approach the speed of sound, there's a slew of new engineering challenges that comes, as well as
Oh,
Mm.
sound issues, engineering issues.
Too loud.
But what's the difference between the speed of a current, commercial aircraft and the speed of sound?
Look that up.
Because maybe we could improve it, but not approach the
How
speed
about
of
we give
sound.
people headphones? You put a
Yeah.
little headphone on, the sound doesn't bother you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see people walk around at $1,000 Apple phones, headphones all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone has at least $1,000 on them. Right?
Yeah, give them a
Is their phone.
headphone
Yeah.
and keep it moving because this is ridiculous.
There's a company, I don't know the
I think
name
you
of
would hear
it, but
booms all the time in the sky.
to Anand's right, that there is a company that's working on like what would be the today modern equivalent of the Concorde. I don't know the name of the company, but there's one out there. You can Google it, and it's supposed to be like New York to London in like 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely startups being funded trying to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Cracking that nut.
The real problem with travel is not just the flight time. I can actually live with the flight time. Post 9/11, the pre-flight
Mhm.
time is so long.
Mhm.
Is
That
that
makes
is-
you feel like an animal, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, you
just
feel like you're like-
in a cattle car.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally
Yeah.
buy that. I think that that's sort of our tagline at SeatBoost is we like to add joy to the journey. We're the only thing in airline, merchandising, and I don't mean to be too inside baseball, but we're the only thing that you could spend $1,000 and be like, oh my God, I won, and be
Yeah.
like all excited. So like joy is a huge part of what we're doing, and control,
There's nothing
right?
about traveling is joy.
No, and it's
Commercial
not, and
is
not
not
only
joyful.
not only is nothing joyful, it's so personal, right?
Yeah.
It's like you in a space with someone touching you.
I also
and
think you're
Yeah.
also the typical traveler, which is a business traveler, right? So you already don't even want to go.
No.
yeah,
I'm not going for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going
But
on
I'm seeing
vacation.
some, like,
I'm not
family-
going to Cabo
That's a
or
good
anything
point.
fun.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are going to JFK in Newark
You're
every
leaving
other
the
week.
podcast,
It's
going
brutal.
to LAX. Like, I don't even want to go on this trip.
Yeah.
And then you have all these obstacles to get
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the flight.
Right. You're packing,
Um,
unpacking. Sorry.
Current commercial airlines around 600 miles per hour.
Okay.
Speed of sound, it depends on humidity and those sort of things, but is about 770, so not far.
Oh.
No. So that's
That's
what I'm
really-
saying. I think
there's
they're
not
kind of
much
at the
room.
limit.
I stand corrected.
I mean,
But
right
I don't
now,
know.
when you
We'd see
come
what-
back from New York to LA, I don't know if it's really windy or whatever. It's like an hour and a half longer.
I know.
Yeah, it's real.
It's so long.
I know.
Like, go higher. Fucking avoid
Do
the wind.
anything.
Like,
Yeah.
Just get me home.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me that you're right. Like those planes are the same planes.
I mean, sometimes I'm on a Southwest flight and it still has the cigarette thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And if you think
Southwest
about it,
is
right?
unflyable.
Like the
Let's be
interview,
clear.
the innovation.
Southwest is like
That
Bud
was
Light.
on and take him out. And then, that was woke on. And
Woke on and flew Southwest 3 weeks ago.
The game 6 when you rooted for the Warriors. That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
It's an unflyable airline.
I think it's great.
I think Southwest is like totally reasonable.
It's funny that they still say you're not allowed to smoke on flights. Like they still let you know before you take off.
I know, like someone doesn't
Well,
know
they tell
that.
you not to vape in the.
And they tell you
Yeah,
don't
that's
smoke
the
in the
upgraded
bathroom
version.
either. Like in case you thought maybe the bathroom was okay, but not in the cabin.
I mean,
good.
people are just getting hammered on flights.
Yeah.
Like with those morning flights I take, like the guy next to me, I think I
It's
flew
amazing.
JetBlue, and it
was it the
fu-
5 a.m. flight?
yeah, hammered. The guy had like 3 cocktails.
At 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
So I think 5 a.m. I think you're
No, I was literally so tired. I just like I hadn't. You know, the problem is when you take like when you wake up at 3:45.
That's a
And I went
tough
to
time
sleep-
to wake up.
Yeah, and I went to sleep at 12, and I'm anxious about missing the flight.
So I think
because I do
that
not want
guy-
to stay 5 seconds more.
No.
So I did sleep. So I go to sleep before the plane even takes off, and then I'm having bad sleep. So I'm waking up, and I see
You
this-
slept like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I slept nothing. And then on the way when we left, the captain goes to the guy and goes, "Hey, I'm sorry we're late today." Because I guess we were stuck on the runway for a while. He apologized. I'm like, this is probably some big JetBlue executive just getting fucking
Yeah,
tanked.
hammered.
So
Oh, he came to him and told him that.
Yeah, the
Oh.
captain.
Wow.
the thing about that story that I would maybe take issue with is that if it's a 5 a.m. flight, that could be a strategic move. So I travel a lot internationally, as you know. Anytime I'm coming back to LA from Europe, the last night in Europe, stay up all night. This is like a tip for like, single Cathys who are like looking to party. If you're going to Europe, the night before you come home, stay up all night. It makes it easier to sleep on the plane on the way back, and you'll have no jet lag because you match the time zone, right?
So what does that do with this guy having 3 cocktails
because
at 5 a.m.?
because maybe this guy was trying to sleep going back
he
from
didn't give a fuck.
from New
This
York.
guy looks like a guy. He flies 4 times a week.
He's just getting hammered.
Well,
I'll
Just
tell
a
you this.
pharmaceutical
D,
sales rep.
Oh,
No, I think
God.
he's a JetBlue executive.
5 a.m. is aggressive, but because
Everyone's drinking
the
on
reason
every
the
flight
reason
I
I
go on.
thought about 5 a.m. is because I thought maybe that guy's still up from the night before. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, right?
He was
But-
like 100.
Yeah, but I take like, for example, 6 or 7 a.m. and it's those people they're not up from the night before,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Everyone's a mimosa because they
They're
offer you
getting
mimosa.
tanked.
Yeah.
Forget on the flight. I see him at like Chili's, in the airport at like 6 a.m.
Is
Like
that
give
nerves?
me 2.
Or do you think people are just like away from
I
their
think
kids?
it's
and they're
nerves.
like,
I think
a
I
lot of
I
it's
think it's
nerves, to be
50%
honest.
of people literally think their plane's gonna crash.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I
I agree.
I remember a friend
Fear of
Nino.
flying.
Yeah.
I was on a
Wait,
flight.
what'd you
with
say?
him.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Nino?
Your friend Nino?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know who he is.
I was on a flight with him to Vegas or something like that.
Yeah.
And he would have like 3 beers and like whatever.
He
and
like puts I don't know if he still does, but he used to put a shirt over his head and get
Yeah.
hammered.
yeah, and it was like a 30-minute flight. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude. He's like, man, I can't fly.
Yeah.
And I just randomly had sat next to him on like a Southwest flight.
Yeah.
And
So 50% are Ninos.
I think 50% are Ninos and they're nervous and they genuinely, and other 50% just want to have a good time.
Yeah, like do you think they're just like away from the family
Yeah,
and they're like,
it's
this
like-
is my chance?
Maybe I'll fuck the person next to me in first class.
High Club.
I think 75% of people think that.
Yeah.
I literally think that.
I think it's like if I could pick a place to be drunk, like where I'd least want to be drunk, it'd be like trapped next to a stranger where I can't move at all on a
Yeah.
flight, right? Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
But a lot of people on flights are very chatty. Like
Yeah.
I'm
you say.
a sleeper on a
I
plane.
put headphones
Not in
on.
business.
I'm
not in
of
business.
course,
Sure.
of course, everyone's chatting.
No,
I have earplugs. I'm this, and I'm just hearing people chat.
But no one's trying to talk to you.
No, I'm very unfriendly.
Yeah, you have a hat and a hoodie.
Hoodie on,
Hat,
You're
hoodie,
earplugs.
like,
headphones,
this guy's homeless.
Yeah.
Sunglasses.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to get to know this guy.
Yeah, no one's trying to talk to me, but I just see everyone's like dying to chat.
Chatty Cathy.
I also think the same way people drink when they go out, like it's a social. Like I don't know, I'm around
It's a
people. My
lubricant.
plane, I might die.
Yeah.
Like why not drink?
Yeah. It's pretty bizarre.
Because I just to me like of like a flight from LA to New York, like I don't know, unless you time it really well and do some stuff really well, like you feel kind of drained and shitty, and like you stack on some alcohol on top of that, like you're just like when you get to your destination.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm tanked to go on this flight so I could sleep,
Yeah,
and then I got meetings all day.
yeah, because you were pretty hammered when you left here last.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got to the
I
airport
had a
drunk.
9:30
Yeah, he
a.m.
walked
meeting.
from In and Out. He obviously was hammered.
So you were drunk walking from In and Out to LAX.
hammered completely. And then I literally I landed at whatever, 6:30, 7:30, whatever it was, took my shower, had picked up my Starbucks, hopped on the train, straight to a meeting. Once I get as long as I don't
Yeah.
stop. If I stop, I'm dead.
The airport is just
Yeah.
a very fascinating place.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
unbelievable.
Because like until you have kids, because I know Drama, you travel, but like until you have kids, you never realize it. There's just kids everywhere.
Everywhere.
yeah.
I don't think
didn't
about that.
notice this.
Yeah, I don't
You didn't
notice
see
it.
it.
And like when I go to, I don't travel with kids much at all, right? Like
Yeah.
once or twice a year. And when I go now without kids, I'm like, why the fuck are there so many kids?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
People are basically morons, and so they like.
I
they're
can't wait for
like,
this.
Let's. Am I right?
I want to hear what you're going to say.
Well, everyone's a moron. We know that.
Yeah. everyone's a moron.
Like people who travel with their children all the time
Yeah.
Yeah.
are complete idiots.
Why
Kids-
expand on that?
Okay,
Why?
the first part of it is, for the most part, kids don't remember anything.
Yep.
Okay.
So they're like 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would give him my son Dominic. Now, like we had a trip.
He's easy.
8 months.
He's now easy.
Yeah, but he remembers his last flight. He remembers the trip. He remembers going to a hotel. Like all that, he remembers.
How old is he now?
He's 5.5 now.
Okay. And he has fond memories of it?
Yes.
Does he ask to do it again?
But when he's 15, he won't
enjoyed
remember
it,
any of
but
that.
he's easy. He sits, he's quiet, he eats his food. You throw him a couple, blippies or whatever, he's good.
Yeah.
He's fine. But there's people with young children.
Yeah.
What are you trying to prove? You trying to do it for the gram?
Yeah.
You trying to take your 6-month-old to Disneyland for the gram?
But I think that's what they want to travel.
No, it's not about you anymore. Once you're a parent, it's nothing. You will never get to do anything ever again for yourself.
But what if you want to get to fucking Cancun?
Here's the thing. I had this conversation with my wife when we had children. I was like, it's like 7-8 years.
What is?
Just
Like the
can't
hard
do
part?
anything.
Yeah.
Before, like, for example, I think Dominic, he's of the age and of the ability.
You could take him somewhere.
I could take him to Dubai and I think I'd be fine.
Dubai, I don't think he's fine on
I could do 15 hours. Give me a business class ticket. Me and Dom to Dubai.
Yeah.
We could do like a docuseries if you want.
I
On
would
this.
love to watch it.
Yeah, that'd be funny because I'm not going on that.
No, I think he's easy enough at this age.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I think at the 2, 3,
4
18 month, I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Going
So when you
every-
say 8 years, are you saying you're like for 8 years?
between both my children.
It's all about the kids.
Yeah, just like sit your ass at home, make your life easier. Like
Yeah.
I have no problem driving. Hey, let's go to Santa Barbara, drive to San Diego, see the fucking zoo, Legoland, whatever.
'Cause
Like,
I also was wondering about Dom. Like, I wonder if you're better off having him not remember a plane because he doesn't even know what he's missing.
yeah,
So just don't even take them until they're 12.
yeah. fair. Like I think he doesn't know which way or the other because we did a ton of traveling with him.
Yeah.
When he was like a year and a half, the dude went all over the world.
Yeah.
And he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was miserable for us.
Yeah. So what's the advice? You just chill out for 8
The
years.
advice is like travel a shitload before you have kids.
Yeah.
Then don't travel again till your kid's like 14.
Yeah.
14's a little.
And don't take them.
Yeah.
Because it's not
Yeah,
fun
that's real
going with the
advice.
kids.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And instead
No, it's a stressful
yeah.
experience. So we flew with our 2 kids to New Year's to Punta Mita, which is what, a 2.5 hour flight, 3 hour flight, something like that. The stress that was on us.
how old were they at the time? Like 2 and
4 and change and 15 months,
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. Or no, a year.
Okay.
4 and change in a year.
And you
Yeah,
had
it's tough.
my mom, nanny. You had the whole squad.
Oh, you had a squad.
This guy had a squad.
And it was still that tough.
No, but
Imagine you're packing your 3 kids into a Southwest flight going to fucking Atlantic City or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like imagine.
Come on, kids. We're going to Cancun. We're in C-26.
we actually did
Just
not.
like
We did not
fucking
have our
take
nanny on our
guys.
flight. It was just my mom. But yes,
Yes.
It was our mom was there, but it was stressful.
So like even if you were like a regular just a normal person, like maybe if you wanted to go on a trip really bad, like
Drive.
drive or send the kids to the grandparents.
I don't know,
and the
because
adults
here's
go.
my counter to it. Because like next time you go to the airport, just
You'll see
notice
Yeah.
how many freaking kids there are. So maybe we have it wrong and it's just easy, and we're just making it too
I think people
complicated.
are
No, I
just
think those
used
people are
to-
they're just delusional. They're having 6 cocktails. Their kids fucking crying. They don't give a shit.
Because you
I
go to
can't
any
imagine it.
airport,
It's all kids.
It's all kids. Every freaking terminal is kids.
And they're going on vacation. They're not going to like, oh, my family's from Indiana.
Yeah.
We're going home to Indiana. No, we're going to Orlando for
Yeah.
the weekend.
Yeah. I cannot imagine it. Not having kids, I cannot imagine it. Like
Yeah.
having like a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old and trying to fly somewhere.
Why? They
I-
don't remember. And by the
No,
way,
but that
by
was
the
more
way, like-
selfish, right? We didn't want to leave them at home. And we
yeah,
wanted
yeah, which
experience.
and yeah, I get
No,
that
I
too.
get it. Yeah, you had the right intentions. I'm just saying I can't picture how brutal that would be.
I mean, similarly, like I have a child now who remembers things, but if I take him, like the last couple playoff games, we've been watching them at Nice Guy and Delilah at 5 p.m. and I'm bringing Dominic
Yeah.
5 p.m.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, we're watching the game with the boys." Like that's what he remembers. He remembers more of those things.
Yeah.
Of course, going to the beach, having at the pool, all that stuff is really, really fun. But if you think about like the effort and the cost, I could take him basically down the street to watch a basketball game
And
for an
you
hour.
don't
And if you
Take
just
your
never
credit card
showed
out.
him, he
I
doesn't
didn't even have
know.
to pay. Brian's paying for everything.
Yeah.
It's free. It's comped.
And you could just, he doesn't know what it is. You could just say all the airplanes he sees in the sky are the army.
Yeah.
Or it's the
Nobody's
UFOs.
traveling.
Just lie to your kids.
Yeah.
Say it's a UFO.
I mean, if they
Why are
say
you
there's
so-
a tooth
why are you
fairy
so-
and Santa Claus, just
Yeah.
say that's UFO aliens.
Yeah. Those are bad guys up there.
Yeah.
Bad guys.
You don't want those guys.
Those are Russians up
Yeah,
there.
I mean, when I leave, when funny enough, because I say that because when I leave the house and I tell my youngest I'm gone for a couple of days, he goes, "Dada, you're a bad guy."
he does do that?
Yeah,
Miles
so
says
might
that?
as well be. These are bad guys flying up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Miles
a good
goes to
point.
me, "Dada, you're a bad guy."
The smart kid.
Amazing. So,
The thing I'll say too about airlines is like it's kind of a bad business, right? Like, margins are super low, like grocery stores, right? Because fuel is high. You have to worry about so many different
Yeah,
sort of
moving on.
disparate spreads in the world, right? Like
I think
oil
it's-
prices in
Why
OPEC.
isn't it like a public utility and just be?
Well, for example, pilots, right? Every airline doesn't have enough pilots, every single one of them. So you can't have more planes if you don't have more pilots. It's like a game of 3-card
What's
money
going
you're
on?
always
Are pilots
playing.
getting hammered?
Well, you know those stories. They're out there.
those
Pilots are
real?
notoriously known to be some of the most womanizing. I'm sure
Really?
there's female pilots. Well, you're in a different city like every night. That's like it's a very notorious thing.
So they're
love to
like,
have a-
"Catch me if you can."
They're out. Yeah, a lot. They're
Oh, yeah,
they're
yeah,
out
yeah.
there, right?
Yeah. I'd love to have like a
I
pilot
didn't mean
friend.
womanizing in like a negative, like, you know, sort of way. I mean it in a
Is
way
there a
of,
positive way to be a womanizer?
I don't know. I meant to say like they like to move and shake about the world. Yeah.
If any of our listeners are
Pilots?
pilots for major airlines,
Let us
please
know
reach
if
out.
you're
I'd
a
love to
womanizer.
No,
talk to you.
yeah.
There's
I'd love to just
actually
know what the life
no.
is like.
So actually,
we won't
I have
out
no idea
you.
if he listens, but a person from our high school tennis team is a senior pilot at United Airlines.
No way.
Yeah,
Let's ask
Dustin
him.
Sorotsky.
No way.
You
Had
know,
him on.
Yeah, we should ask him what
you
pilots
know,
are up
one
to.
of the
bring him
bad
on.
He's like,
things-
yeah, I'm just fucking every night. Just
Yeah, womanizer.
yeah.
like 16 girlfriends.
Yeah. No, it's
Dubai, Paris, London, Minnesota, whatever.
I actually recently got reconnected to him, so I'm happy to invite him on.
We should interview
Yeah,
him.
because
I think
it
he'll
better be
co-sign
good. Because
this.
I fly a lot of United, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
We always joked about like amongst like Brad and Eric and I, if we were on a United flight and said, "This is my captain speaking," as Dustin, and be like, "Let's get the fuck off the plane."
Because you want to know what else is the TikTok content about like debunking everyone's fear of turbulence does really well. So maybe we could ask them some questions about like where's the danger. 50% of people on your planes are hammered because they're terrified you're gonna crash.
That's
that
a high
thing.
number.
You know what's crazy is turbulence is one of those things, and I don't want to jinx myself, but like
Turbulence isn't.
I get
problem.
unfazed. I get completely unfazed about turbulence.
It's not a
Because you're
problem.
such an experienced flyer.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
if you just look historically, like it's just that's not the
Planes
reason
don't
why
crash,
Planes
yeah.
don't like
I've
from
been
a
on some
technology
scary
standpoint.
stuff.
Technology standpoint, planes are actually pretty amazing.
Oh, they're way safer than cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Way safer.
Yeah, so like turbulence, you see people like, "Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!" It's like, what are you?
So I've been in 2 almost plane crashes before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah, what?
One, yeah. They're very quick
You
stories.
decided to get in the airline business.
One, well, again, airline retailing,
Sure.
airline
On the ground.
flying.
Yep.
No, like, so one of them, the engine fell off one of the wings,
Oh,
right?
What airlines?
Yeah, that was
What?
Southwest flight.
This is what I told you guys.
Yeah.
Southwest is
Flight.
shit.
I'm with you
Southwest
now.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm with Anand.
And the other one was really the other one was a crazier story. So the flight was delayed for like 45 minutes, then it was delayed for another hour, then another 2 hours, and there was like this mechanical trouble, right? So finally they board the flight, we take off, we're in the air maybe like 7 to 10 minutes. All of a sudden you say, hey, the mechanical engine there's still a mechanical problem. Plane turns around, goes back to land at the airport we took off. You see
What
on
city is
each
that?
side in Phoenix, you see each side of the runway, fire
Ambulances.
trucks,
Oh.
ambulances,
Oh my God.
right?
It's a wrap.
And I'm like, oh my God. So they,
You saw it when you were like,
when you're descending.
Oh
yeah.
my
So
God.
I'm sitting next to it's also a Southwest flight. so there's
course
rows
it
of
was.
3, right? So
with
I'm,
Anand.
I'm sitting,
I fly a lot of Southwest.
I'm sitting
Yeah,
on one
Southwest is-
side. Another guy is, and there's a woman in the middle who's going insane, right? She's screaming her head off, having a religious experience.
did they say like we might crash? Like,
No.
Okay.
No, no fear
Okay.
was
So why-
given.
She was freaking out because she heard about
She
the
saw.
ambulances.
She saw.
Okay.
You look out the window, you see the fire trucks, right?
Okay.
I mean, conceivably, the fire trucks could have been for something else. I still, to this day, have no idea. The plane landed fine, right? But like, you see that. So she's screaming her head off. Me and this guy that played basketball at Arizona,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say his name, but
Luke Walton.
we were sitting next to her. She was in the middle, and we're like physically
Richard
restraining her.
Jefferson.
She's trying to get up, and like I don't know where she thinks she's gonna go, but like it was a whole thing. And we're like, sit down, and we're looking at each other like, you got to keep her together. We're like eye to eye, right?
God.
We land the plane. Everyone's like cheering, sweating, whatever. We get off the plane, and like I went to college at Arizona. For years, I would see this guy in bars and at parties, and we would just give each other a look like, yo, you know, like we
We did
survived
this
that
together.
together, you
Yeah.
know? I'm
That's
sure if we
crazy.
ran into each other today, the same thing would happen. Anyway.
That's wild. I mean, yeah, look, I think flying in general, unfortunately, is not as pleasant of experience as it could be.
Yeah. So I wanted
Yeah.
to say, is that our like? Is this our wrap up? Traveling is hotter than ever,
Yeah.
but the act of traveling sucks.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed since.
Well,
I
as
can't
travel
speak
gets
for-
sorry, one
Go ahead.
thing. As travel gets hotter, the act gets worse. It's inversely correlated because more people make it worse.
So do you believe, just to wrap this up, do you believe travel stays as hot as it is, despite the fact we're barreling into a recession?
For one reason.
Why?
This is a passport. Because now,
An iPhone.
Yeah, because now you can be connected online, digital nomad. You could be anywhere in the world and be in a Zoom meeting, blur your background, and no one has any idea. So this has become a passport to the world, right?
I don't know if that's it. The only reason why I'd counter with that, I actually think it's more related to the pandemic, where people are like, fuck it, I could die any second. My money could be taken away from me. My life could be taken from me. I need to go see Disney World. And if it's going to bankrupt me to go see it, I'm going to go do it. I want to go see Greece. I want to go. People have this like urge, given that like now there's like, I think in most people's lives, mortality is not reality. I think you just live. And then one day you die, sadly.
Or happily, some people.
Some people die happy.
Okay, sure. But I'm just saying that
But
like
your point is basically like
you never thought
everyone's
about
YOLO.
death. I never thought about death.
You think the
till COVID.
pandemic made more people think about their own mortality?
I don't
YOLO
think
is
I
hotter
think
than
about
ever.
death. Do you?
I thought that I could get COVID and die during COVID, where I never thought in my life
Super woke.
that I would never die. Right? And so I think for a lot of people, time was taken away from you. And you're like, okay, time was taken away from me. I want to go live my life. I want to go do things. Like, why is there just certain surge to go do shit that they didn't?
Well, I think
years
there's
ago?
a lot of trends.
We're in it financially. If I'm a family, like I'm a family person, I don't want to fucking spend money now, given the uncertainty of the world. But when I go to the airport, all I see is families, fucking blowing all their money to go somewhere.
Right. So I think there's a couple things. One, there's a lot of trends that are sort of moving in the same direction at the same time. So one is what you said, right? One is what I said about this being a passport. Another is like work from home, like people can work from anywhere in a way that the company's okay with. I think another thing you guys have talked about on previous pods is like people are less enamored with sort of physical things, right? Of, that they want to spend money on. People are more into experiences, right? So travel's an experience. And I think you put all of those things like stacked on top of each other, maybe, each is worth 10% more, right? But it's just a lot combined that creates, and again, there's not more planes, there's not more innovation, there's not more pilots, there's not more routes. In fact, the airline industry is consolidating, right? JetBlue and Spirit, for example, right? So and maybe that opens up more routes or less routes. Different people will tell you different things on each side of that argument. But
if you're in the airline industry, don't you think that like you're looking out 10 years from now, people are going to travel more than they did today? Why not expand the universal flights? Why not open the airport 24? If there was a 3 a.m. flight, I would take a 3 a.m. flight.
Planes and staff.
I would love
That's
to
why.
take a 1 a.m. flight from Vegas.
They
back
don't
home.
have the staff and they don't have the planes.
Why do we
Do you
need
know that
staff?
Just like go to.
Who's handling
Absolutely.
bags? Who's handling your
Don't check in
check-in?
your bags. Don't be one of those losers that check bags.
Yeah, I know,
Fucking
but-
check in. Fucking hand carry only.
Yeah.
I think it's insane that there's not a 1 a.m. flight from Vegas back to LA.
There should be an every hour on the hour flight
Yeah.
from Vegas to
To
LA. Once you lose all your
anywhere.
money,
There
get
should
out
literally-
there.
No,
Yeah.
but it's a
Anywhere.
45
Yeah.
minute flight.
No, it's pilots and it's airplanes. I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
So-
where are the pilots?
So I'll tell you where the pilots are. So
Just getting hammered, huh?
there's banging bitches. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Let's ask our boy Dustin.
no, the
I can't
pilots.
wait. I hope he'll do
The
it.
incentive structure for pilots is broken. So you have to go to school to be a commercial aviation pilot for like 10 years, right? It's a really long process. And at the end, there's not pilots making millions. There's pilots making, 200 grand, 300 grand, right? So
But
It's
how
a
many-
great living.
plastic surgeons that go to school for 10 years, right, make millions, right? So the amount of time that it takes to, and there's every airline in the world basically is trying to invest in like pilot schools like that they own because they need more pilots. Every airline in the world is trying to hire more pilots.
Why don't
So-
they just pay
Gotta
more?
pay him more.
So if you're a
It's a low
pilot,
margin business.
how many hours a week do you think you have to work?
It depends on seniority and a lot of stuff. But to your point, I think it can be a cush job,
Yeah, that's
right?
my point.
Like a firefighter,
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
Are you calling a firefighter?
Wow.
Good job.
A
Wow.
hero.
Like-
wow.
Wow, I
This
stand
guy.
I stand with the frontline
First
workers.
responders. Yeah.
Like you're Kevin here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they gotta pay him more. I think it all comes down to cost. It just
Yeah.
if they could charge double.
Right.
Yeah, because like I mean, I don't understand why like there aren't more flights. So
But
they
there's
just,
obviously sorry,
I have nothing to say.
I just jumped all over what you were
I
saying.
don't care.
I was saying I guess there's already too many people traveling, so just charge more and pay the pilots more and get nicer
You
planes.
can't charge anymore. It's too expensive. As
I know, but
it
look
is.
at all the people at the airport.
People are
Why
bringing
is
their
there that
kids.
many people at the
What?
airport?
People are bringing their kids.
Yeah.
It's not expensive
They're
enough.
charging more.
according
There'll
to
be
D.
no kids at the airport.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
we
saying-
should
There's
charge
a lot of
people who bring
hotels
their
in
kids.
Europe that are adults only. Like, and they say
Sexy.
like it'll be like you know,
Sexy.
yeah, but even it's not. It's like it'll say like hotel name adults only parentheses. Like it's in the name.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always wonder like if any airlines toyed with that.
Yeah.
As
You
need
like
the whole
this
airport
flight
kinda.
is adults only.
Yeah.
What would you charge? What's the premium that you could charge for?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with kids screaming, yelling, like whatever.
Yeah, you got noise canceling headphones. You're fine. And
I'm
sunglasses
actually
and a hoodie.
basically deaf in my right ear. So when I lay, if I put something on my left, I can't hear a thing anyway. So I'm good.
You said you don't mind kids screaming? You're just
Doesn't
used
bother
to it, maybe?
I don't care. Yeah.
No, if you have kids,
You're okay
You
with
aren't
it.
To me,
Used
it's
to-
miserable.
yeah, for you, I 100% would sympathize with
For
you.
me, I feel bad for the
being
parent.
like, I don't want to be on a flight,
Yeah.
and I paid all this money, and there's a screaming kid.
It's just if the airport at 11:40 at LAX on a random Sunday
It's filled with
is so
kids.
busy that you have to walk a mile to get to the thing,
Yeah.
maybe they could charge a little more for tickets.
Or
And
we
pay
have
the
to
pilot.
rethink travel because, like, I don't think less people want to travel in the next decade. I think more people are going to want to travel.
Yeah.
So I think we need to, like, for example, Los Angeles should probably open another international airport
Yeah.
somewhere.
LAX is a disaster. Just
You know,
sort of
originally
altogether.
LAX was supposed to be. I remember my dad telling me like it was supposed to be in Lancaster, like
Mhm.
20 years ago, 30 years ago. Like open up two internet or expand Orange County,
or
whatever-
Burbank.
whatever. Expand it so that we have other options to fly out of. And you know that's just LA, but like the whole world, it's like it's impossible. Like I was looking at flights to Europe this summer. Flights to anywhere. It's
Crazy.
so expensive.
So
I
expensive.
will say,
Who
LA,
can
New
afford
York
it?
has come down.
LA and New York is a lot cheaper
I just
than it
booked
was.
some flights for July. We're just going for no reason, but it wasn't as expensive as you thought.
To where?
To LA, New York.
New York.
Delta,
Have you been to the?
what'd you do?
Just something positive. Have you guys been to the new Delta Lounge in
Yeah,
LAX?
it's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Like
Indoor, outdoor.
Indoor, outdoor. It's fucking amazing.
You feel like you should have had to like be on a list to get in there that isn't like their club. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked when I go in there and I'm like, so where's the waitress? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
it makes you feel like bottle
Special.
service should be like
Yeah.
right there.
Like you
No,
literally could hear
it's
the
crazy.
planes take off outside. It's
Yeah,
really
it's really
sick.
dope.
cool.
Really sick.
I'd be a great place to watch a game. There's like all those
Oh,
TV,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
of course.
Like,
I'm usually there for 2.5 minutes before
Yeah,
the flight's
same.
like taking
Yeah.
off.
yeah, no, it's really
It's good.
spectacular.
But yeah, so you don't think travel's coming down anytime soon?
No, I would love for Elon to talk to Amtrak Joe. They could like work out all the issues and build some bullet trains. And I think that domestic travel in the US could be way more train focused like in Europe and like save your flights for like longer places, right? Like why do we need to fly to Vegas or San Francisco? These should
Yeah.
be 2-hour
Bullet
bullet trains,
Yeah.
no TSA, no nonsense. Don't make you feel like you're in a cattle cart. Like I've been to Germany 25 times, right? I never take a flight intra-Germany. I take trains, right? I take trains from Paris to other parts of France, right? So to me, the domestic train system in the US is the answer to your flight problems. And, you know, you got these two people who
you
are
get rid
enemies.
of all the LA, San Francisco, LA, Vegas, New
LA,
York,
San Francisco,
Miami, New
LA,
York,
Vegas
DC.
should all be trains.
If you did
Yeah.
LA Vegas
Trains
2-hour
sound so
train,
fun,
that'd be
too.
so
They're
good.
so fun.
I wanna ride a
take
train.
Imagine that train.
They're
Everyone's just
I
gonna
wanna ride
hammer.
a
Oh my
train.
God,
Bring
that'd be
trains
so
down.
fun.
What,
I
to
mean-
LA, Vegas?
Yeah.
That would be
I mean,
amazing.
2
I would
hours,
go to
no
Vegas
airport?
to dinner and take a midnight train back.
Totally.
Yeah.
If it
And
was
be
2
home.
hours,
Not have to deal with the
and
airport.
the trains are so comfortable. The Wi-Fi works perfectly.
AC.
It's AC. It's such a comfortable experience. You get to the train 2 minutes before it leaves.
Yeah.
You just walk in, walk out. No, there's no. And while you're on the train is when they scan your ticket. They don't do it. You don't have to get there in advance, right?
Like even in Europe, when you go cross countries, it's like 5 minutes. You check your passport and go on.
Yeah.
I just got to tell you guys, I've been binge watching this show on the History Channel. I've always been a fan of it, and it's called The Men Who Built America. Have you
Oh
guys
yes,
ever
I
seen it?
have seen. I've seen specific episodes.
And when you watch it and you look at like Henry Ford and Carnegie and Rockefeller and all this stuff that happened post Civil War in a very short amount of time, like we laid all of the train railways across the whole country in a short amount of time, and steel, and built skyscrapers, and then like I feel like we just stopped. Of course we've innovated like in tech and stuff, of course, but I just mean like you're telling me
infrastructure wise,
I have the same planes from 1970 and I don't have a train that'll get me to Vegas.
That's exactly the time when politics became bought by money. And in China today, like infrastructure wise, the speed at which they're evolving their community is so much further than
So
we
I've
can.
actually heard the counter to that. Derek Thompson from The Atlantic, he actually tweeted this, that we think China is so advanced in the way they...
I mean, has Derek Thompson been there? I've been there 100 times. Has he? He's just tweeting. He's a tweeter.
Can you let me finish?
I know that guy. I saw the tweet. It's full
What
of
did he
shit.
say? What did he say?
His tweet was basically like, 150 people get to work on a rail station in LA. But in China, there's no rules.
10,000
So you can
people.
put 1,500 people and you just finish it quicker.
Yeah.
So that's
That's all
good.
it is.
But that's better for China.
But it's not something like
These
there's no
anti-labor
I
law.
don't feel like
technological revolution that China
It's
has.
not technology.
It's just basically
rules.
regulation.
Regulation screwed America.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you think about all the inefficiencies of daily life in America, when you just like think about like hospitals or schooling, and you just look at like, why are we dealing with this nonsense? It's just inefficiencies.
A lot of it's regulation. It's a lot of it is unions. It's a lot of it is
it's that
well,
type
it's like
of shit.
your hedges are too high.
Unions.
Like you got to worry about the
I'm
important
sitting there
stuff.
fighting for
Yeah,
hedges
yeah.
still. I come home nervous to get a fine every day.
Are you getting robbed today?
Of the hedges? I don't know yet.
It's just when you watch this thing, they literally went from like horses to cars.
Yeah.
And like
to
this.
like, oh my God, we can build bridges across rivers now because we have steel. Oh my God, we have oil. We can light our houses. Oh my God, now we have Thomas Edison with fucking electric. And then like now I feel like we're just like, well, my Southwest engine fell off the other day.
But here's the problem.
Hey, Kevin, you got an
twice.
app about how to upgrade. Like, please work on commercial aviation. Is what you're
but
telling
here's
me.
the thing is let's say you had a way to improve. For example, Elon Musk has a way to help with traffic with the Boring Company.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Do
can't
you
get it
think
done. Too
in
much red tape.
LA, Elon Musk could get one policy passed?
No
He's
chance.
the
No.
most hated person probably in LA politics,
Yeah.
right? Like he would never. Where it's you can't even listen to the person's idea because of who they are as a person.
That's
so
a
like,
social media problem, though.
No,
right?
but this is what I was saying before about how politics is just your identity, right? Like, if I'm a Laker fan, nothing you will tell me will convince me to not be a Laker fan. If you're a Democrat, nothing Elon will say will make you.
I know, but building a fucking bridge shouldn't be Democrat
Totally.
or Republican.
But it is.
But
Everything
it is
I know.
because
Everything
politics
is.
have gotten so identity focused, right?
Yeah.
It's like who you are.
Yeah.
That's why they call it identity politics.
But they call it identity politics, but it's only the Republicans that call it that because they want to just dunk on the Democrats.
But I find like Democrats virtue signal just as much, just
no,
in a
I
different
know,
way.
but I think Republicans take advantage of that and just dunk on Democrats.
It's the Pete
because
Buttigieg thing, like just do whatever you're going to do. They're going to call you a socialist no matter what. That's what he says, right?
Yeah.
What the heck's Pete up to, you know?
He's not building trains. Yeah, we need some trains.
Yeah,
you know?
God forbid a train, a bridge, a plane. That's not the guy to call.
Is trains within
He might be on
Homeland,
paternity
whatever?
leave still.
Isn't he the
He
Homeland?
took 2 years
guy?
off. Yeah, he's the
I know.
The guy,
Transportation
got, the
secretary.
guy got appointed
He's the
Department
transportation
of
secretary.
Transportation secretary, and he
That's what I
said,
meant.
I got a kid. I had paternity leave 4 years. I'm off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much we care about the trains getting built. All right, what do we want to do? I mean,
I
how
think
long?
we're done.
done.
We're
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
It's hour and 20.
All right,
Can
there
I
you
ask
go.
a question to you guys? I just want to hear everyone's definition of what is politics?
People arguing.
No, it's basically how do you identify with your tribe? I think
Yeah,
that's pretty
it's
much it.
tribalism. That's
Yeah.
the word that came to my mind. Politics is tribalism plus money.
Yeah, I think the word politics means not like government is like helping form policies. Politics is basically the game of forming policies. And so it's very different. Like if you were to ask me what's the definition of the government, what's their role, that's one thing. Politics is the game of it. It's just a game.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a great explanation.
I agree with that too.
It's what's my guy kind of shady guy, television guy?
Birdman.
Netflix?
Chris
Oh,
Anderson.
Madoff?
No. I had a
Television, a shady guy Netflix.
Who's shady guy on Netflix?
the huge show on Netflix of politics. Kevin Spacey.
Oh. House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of
But
Cards.
D, what is the game of politics? Like
It's just
money.
power.
Money
Yeah.
and power.
Power.
It's actually more power than money, to
all
be honest.
power.
But money is power. You know,
Yeah.
it's like.
But I
these
feel
are-
like people in politics know
You know,
that
you know how like when you talk to young kids, like, what are you doing out here? I'm politicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we need to
literally-
watch
it's-
House of Cards.
Yeah,
If we watched House of Cards together, you would understand.
you would understand.
Have
It has
you watched
nothing
House
to
of
do with
Cards?
actually
No.
bettering society. It has everything to do with just
you should
power
watch
grab.
it. You should watch
yeah,
it.
politics for the
Yeah.
sake of politics.
yeah. It's a good show to House of Cards is perfect. But he's a shady guy.
It's a great show. Is it still on? Did they pull that?
No,
No,
they
it's
pulled it a
yeah.
long time ago. What are you
Long
talking
time
about?
ago.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone off Netflix.
Oh, that I don't know if it's not
the show's
there.
over.
The show's
but
over. Is
House
what I
of
meant.
Cards is
No,
still
no,
on
no, I
Netflix.
know
Is it?
but I'm
They're
saying-
never pulling that show.
Honestly, House of Cards launched Netflix.
yeah,
in
in
my
my opinion.
yeah. So
Orange is the New
I wonder
Black
if
and
it's
House of
still on
Cards.
there.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's all we got, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing content recommendations or no?
What you
No,
gonna
that's
recommend?
You got
something?
one?
We got-
Well, I know. I had something for drama because
Okay.
he's a book reader,
Yeah.
right? So I'm a book reader like you,
What do you got?
and you're a History Channel guy, and I'm a History Channel guy
There we
like
go.
you
Let's
too.
put the audience to sleep.
All right, yeah. This is a downer. Right. This is a downer. Yeah. No. This is it. He knows. D knows. I told him about it.
What is it?
No, it's a book called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, as D properly noted.
Oh, no, I would love to read it. I've watched so many like
it's by an American journalist
Yeah.
who was in Nazi Germany just by chance
yeah.
from before it started to after it ended.
Yeah.
And all he did was document it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's straight documented of what happened. And the reason I say this to you, and you guys are some of
That's
my
why he's Aryan white.
Yeah, I get it.
you guys are some of my best friends, you know this. But as you know, just crush the institutions like in the country, like, oh, this guy sucks, that guy sucks, this guy sucks, everyone's incompetent, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's the exact thing that happened in Germany. And basically everyone lost faith in.
Oh, you told me this at Anand's house.
Yeah.
So you're saying we're kind of
I'm just saying, as
saying
someone
we're-
you're a curious mind,
Yeah.
and you are someone who loves history and knowledge and whatever. And I think you would
History's
take a lot
fake.
from this book.
Yeah.
If drama shows up with a shaved head, I don't know.
I think you already
I'm
did.
just saying, rise and fall. The rise and fall.
The rise and fall.
Kevin, I'll exchange one with you called
Okay.
In the Garden of Beasts. So I'll read yours, you read mine.
Please.
Same thing. It's about people that were in Nazi Germany
Oh, really?
as this was happening. And like one of the daughters like was set up on a date with Hitler
Yeah.
and turned him down. But
Yeah, what a
really
Tinder.
interesting. Not good.
Well, it's amazing because anything you watch or, you know, if you visit a Holocaust museum or whatever, right? The only thing you think of is how the hell did this happen? That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's a constant thing in your head. So to me, the rise and fall of the Third Reich was, oh, here's how it happened. You
Yeah.
know? And the one commonality that I see, not to like make any comparisons to Nazi Germany and America, is like distrust of institutions. That's the main thing. You know,
Okay.
like CIA, CDC, all of these institutions.
But they cause
Supreme
the
Court.
distrust. That's the problem.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not
Yeah, I
even
could go
saying the
down a-
distrust is wrong. That's
Yeah.
what makes me uncomfortable. Is like, it's right. It's valid. I listen every week to
Yeah.
the pod and I can't disagree with a lot of what you say, but I'm still like my spidey signals
I
are being
get
like,
it.
oh,
it's
yeah,
nice
this
when
is
we
what
didn't know
happens.
what was going on.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
I actually, fun
think-
fact, I started reading a book this weekend.
Whoa.
No way.
Whoa.
Yes.
What'd you read?
What is it?
It's a book.
What bet did
Danny
you lose?
Meyer. I think it's called Setting the Table.
Okay.
Danny Meyer's the guy that has all
Chef.
the restaurants, right?
Yeah, I love in Madison. It's really amazing.
Have you been to 11 Madison since it was vegan?
Wow.
Now that it's vegan?
And no, I have not.
Wait, why did you pick
what
up
got
this
you
book?
Someone
started?
gave it to me. Someone gave it to me. Said you should really read this.
Didn't
book.
you read Snowflake or whatever? Snowflake
Frank
guy's book? Frank
Spin.
Spin?
Yeah.
Amp It Up?
I did. I did the audiobook of that one.
I could see you
That
getting into
counts.
reading.
Yeah.
Same. You could just say yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Rogan only does audio.
I
He
did
doesn't
the
read.
Walmart book audio. That was good.
Audio
I'm
is better because you can do two things at once.
Or you cheated?
Pardon?
You read a lot in college, no? Or you cheated?
In college, I cheated. Yeah.
I cheated too.
Cheating was hot.
I read
Yeah.
a lot in like junior high school.
Yeah. But for fun or like...
School.
Yeah, okay.
But I read a lot then. That was my last time reading.
Rare
Well, hey,
Indians cheating. Indians usually straight down the middle, no?
not this guy.
You
This
can say
guy
the same
breaks a
about
lot
I
of
you.
started
rules.
cheating in college though.
Yeah.
I didn't even cheat in college. I just stopped caring.
For the record, just for the audience, I'm Jewish, so I can say that you can say the same about Jews. That's not just like into the ether.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
Dean was
guy took
got,
a third Reich. Well.
Yeah.
Dean was got kicked out of college for cheating.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he definitely cheated.
Hot story.
On it or no? Straight.
I wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
negotiated.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Okay. I sort of had like a mix. Yeah, of the two.
I have a good story. I'll share that one day.
Yeah.
That's a good cheating story.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could get you guys,
We'll
I
bring
think...
all the characters involved in that because we're still friends.
Oh, yeah.
I have some professors that came to clubs with me, probably that you guys were at. Like, and y'all probably didn't know that like I was hosting professors.
Cheating professors.
Cheating
While
professor.
you were in school?
I would call that negotiation. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is consistent with the themes that you guys talk about, like especially like
Epstein.
Epstein
Yeah,
last
I
week.
was gonna
You're
say it,
Epstein,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
He had professors too. He
anything
had scientists.
yeah.
and-
But I think Anand's point was a really good one. That like it is even if he's the world's best promoter, and even if like you give a mouse a cookie, you can get them all right. And even if you're right that all men are idiots and it's all just based on women, which I totally co-sign that, right? It's still amazing the scale to which of what he achieved.
Unreal.
So
It's
what?
unbelievable.
So he might have been backed by somebody.
Yeah, maybe. No, I mean it gives credence to that for sure.
Yeah.
That was a
it's,
hot topic.
It's just staggering.
That's hot.
Even our
People
other guest
loved it.
here
Yeah.
came in with her theory.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean,
Yeah.
that topic,
It's never gonna go.
is that topic just forever
What-
talked about
I
because
have a
we never
question,
find the
an
answer?
honest question. What % of people do you think who know, some amount of the facts of what happened, just generally know, they read some headlines. What % of them do you think Epstein was killed by natural causes?
Zero.
Oh, I think zero, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's like sub 10%.
'Cause I also think that now the narrative that it's funny to think that he
Yeah.
killed himself is
And
out
I
there.
don't
But
wanna-
is there any other conspiracy that's zero? Is there anything like, I don't think there's any other one that's
I think
zero.
JFK might be.
No one thinks about that we actually land on the moon.
Yes,
No.
they do. More than half of people
half
think we
the
landed
people
on the
probably.
moon.
It's
Yeah.
you and John Turshan that don't
Yeah.
believe the moon happened.
Can you,
Sure
Emily,
doesn't
can you
believe
think
it
of any
either.
others?
Moon? Who's going to the moon? We haven't been to the moon.
I will say,
Hey, I know.
and
It's
I don't
a
want to
little
go on this
fishy.
rabbit hole because we'll go down another hour.
Yeah.
And I want to like tie a bow on this.
Sundays we can just do like 3-hour Rogan
3
style.
a.m. Moon? Who's going to the moon?
Korean
Yeah,
lesson.
like I want to. There's so many things we could talk about now.
I still don't get how Rogan can speak the way he does at the scale he does,
Yep.
and he's alive.
I know. I
It's
think it's
'cause
just
he's
because
too
you
powerful.
can't.
Yeah, you can't kill. Epstein was in jail when they killed him. He wasn't
Yeah.
just like out and about.
But the shit Rogan says on a weekly basis,
I
because
know.
I listen to at least one a week. I don't listen to every
He
episode.
did 4 3-hour episodes last week.
Yeah. It's like 20 million a piece.
Absurd.
60 million people
Yeah.
listen to him.
Yep.
Is that
and
right?
And he's saying crazy shit.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure it drives them nuts. But he's too.
did you
Who's they?
listen to the
Who is
CIA?
they?
That's by a list.
the government?
Yeah.
Spotify,
Did you
no?
listen to the
Pharmaceutical-
Navy SEAL guy, Jack Carr?
Yep.
Yeah, it was like, how can you say that
Yep.
at scale and be like,
I just think
Totally
when you're that
safe.
famous and you have that big of a platform, and he has really good security, I think it's tough. I'm sure there are a lot of people who really want to kill him.
like
who
if they
have
can
the
kill
means.
JFK, why can't they kill Rogan?
Different day.
Yeah, Rogan's richer.
But also it's a different day and age where you
Yeah.
could shoot him and then everyone says, "Yep,
Imagine-
it was
imagine
Jack
if
Ruby or
JFK
it
was
Lee Harvey
killed
Oswald."
today, the amount of cell phones that would have been filming
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
no chance.
Well, it's impossible now.
I mean, the way TikTok solves crimes, it's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
You
seen
have
Totally.
14-years-olds solving every crime.
literally, it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. I have to go meet my mom.
Are you going to a Warriors game or something?
Say hi to Steph.
All right, we're out of here, guys. Thanks for listening. We will see you on Wednesday.